Hello everybody, welcome to our second video, and today I'll be speaking only English because if you're coming here to listen for the second part of the reading, I hope that you know English and you can understand me perfectly. So last time we talked about part 1, which is passage 1 of the reading, and we discussed some types of the questions. Today we are going to look at something more difficult, to the reading passage 2. And question for you, what is the most common type of question in reading passage 2? Think about that. And this type of question is a struggle of everybody, almost everybody. And this is, of course, headings. So today we'll look at headings and we will solve headings, plus we'll have some gap fillings or multiple choice questions also. Now, for these purposes, we decided to take a test, a reading that is called the Step Pyramid of Chaucer. Well, the Step Pyramid of Chaucer is the reading of Cambridge. It's either 15 or 16, I can't remember for sure. But here, the first type of the questions that you have is, of course, list of headings. And right now, you will see list of headings for a second on your screen. Well, next type of the questions that you have here is called gap filling again. One word only, and it starts with the Step Pyramid of Chaucer. And the last type of the questions that you have here is multiple choice. It is not simple multiple choice where you choose one answer. Here you are given 5 options and you have to select 2 answers, and here is the question again. So, how do you start solving this kind of reading? The first thing that you must do, as always guys, you have to look at the heading. So the Step Pyramid of Chaucer is the title of the reading, and here you understand that it is going to be about pyramids, maybe Egypt, maybe something like that. Regarding the list of headings, majority suggests that the correct structure should start from looking at the headings one by one, reading everything from the beginning until the end. Well, what I can suggest you to do, if your English is pretty well, you don't have to read the list of headings in the beginning. But if your English is poor and it is difficult for you to understand the translation, then of course it will be logical. It would be logical to first look at list of headings, understand each heading, and only after that go to reading. So think about yourself. Are you good at English or no? If you're quite good, you don't have to read list of headings. And if you are poor, then you have to do that, guys. Well, so what we start from, as always, the structures, the strategies that I explained you last time. You read one paragraph at a time. After that, you analyze all the questions in order to find the answer. So here is the paragraph A. Let's read it together. The pyramids are the most famous monuments of ancient Egypt and still hold enormous interest for people in the present day. These grand impressive tributes to the memory of the Egyptian kings have become linked with the country, even though other cultures such as Chinese and Mayan also built pyramids. The evolution of the pyramid form has been written and argued about for centuries. However, there is no question that, as far as Egypt is concerned, it began with one monument to one king designed by one brilliant architect, the Step Pyramid of Chaucer at Saqqara. So now, before even going to the questions, which is list of headings, I want you to think, what did you read about? So, you do always this strategy. You read one paragraph, you ask yourself, what did I read about? So what did you read about? First, you read about that it is argued, that it's argued for centuries. Then you read about that pyramids of Egypt are not the only ones. Then you read that there is no question that everything started from the pyramid to Chaucer, to the king of some place or something like that. So you have 3 main ideas in your head. Then you go to list of headings and let's read it and choose together. So first, in the list of headings, it says the areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself. Did you ask yourself, did I read anything about artifacts? Most probably no. Second, a difficult task for those involved. Did you read about difficult task? Most probably no. A king who saved his people, nothing about saving people. A single certainty among other less definite facts. Now here, one more time, a single certainty among the other less definite facts. This is very maybe answer. And now, I have to explain you one thing. Well, when you are doing your headings, so first it starts from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20, the last one. You should always tell to yourself, is it no answer, is it yes answer, or is it maybe answer? The most common answer will be no, because you haven't read about that. And then you will have maybe answers. And for one question, you may have 2 or even 3 maybe answers. It is not a problem, okay? So whenever you have a maybe answer, your mission is to write that down next to a question number. So here, we read that a single certainty among other less definite facts for me is a maybe answer, because there is no question about that everything started from this is certainty. So I write this as a maybe answer. I may have another maybe answers also. Let's continue reading. An overview of the external buildings and areas. External buildings? No. A pyramid design that others copy it. Well, maybe. This is also maybe because it all started from one pyramid and maybe others copied it. So second maybe answer here is 6. An idea for changing the design. Nothing about changing the design. An incredible experience despite the few remains. No. The answer to some unexpected questions is also no here. Well, and as you can remember, you never stop in one type of question, you also analyze second type of questions that is given. And here it says, the complex that includes the step pyramid and its surrounding is considered to be as big as the Egyptian of the past, so you didn't read about that. And the last type of question, multiple choice 25 to 26. Which 2 of the following points does the writer make about King Djoser? So we didn't read about King Djoser anything. So what we do now, we have 2 maybe answers, and it is okay to have 2 maybe answers, because when you're reading, for example, 18, and you see that for the 18 the answer is, let's say 4, you write down here 4, and this is left only with 6, which means that you found 14 correctly and you found 18 correctly. Otherwise, if you make only one mistake, then this is going to be all lost. One mistake will cause another one to be mistaken, and second will cause third to be mistaken. That's why always read all the questions. And if you, for example, found 14 to be 4, then you read 17, and you think that 17 is also 4, then it means you have big problems. You mustn't just leave it. You have to find the correct answer of 17. If this is 4 in reality, then you go back to 14 and correct that, because otherwise it is going to be all mess. So, now paragraph B here. Djoser was the first king of the 3rd dynasty of Egypt and the first to build in stone. Prior to Djoser's reign, tombs were rectangular monuments made of dried clay bricks which covered underground passages where the deceased person was buried. For reasons which remain unclear, Djoser's main official, whose name was Imhotep, convinced of building a taller, more impressive tomb for his king by stacking stone slabs on top of one another, progressively making them smaller, to form the shape known as the step pyramid. Djoser is thought to have reigned for 19 years, but some historians and scholars attribute a much longer time for his rule owing to the number and size of monuments he built. Well, what we read about. So conclude, always conclude. After reading, don't look at questions straight away, conclude. So first thing, it is the Imhotep who actually gave the idea of building a monument, which is step pyramid. Then, Djoser is thought to have reigned for 19 years, but some historians and scholars attribute much longer time for his rule owing to the number and size of monuments he built. So there is no clear and certain amount of years, number of years that he was in rule. So nice. let's go to headings now. So here you will see headings. And first heading says here, the areas and artifacts within the pyramid. Nothing about areas again. A difficult task for those involved. No difficult task. A king who saved his people. No. A single certainty among other less definite facts. We took that and no, this is not the answer. An overview of the external building. Nothing about external buildings. A pyramid design that others copied. Nothing about copying. It was Imhotep who first suggested the design. An idea for changing the design for burial structures. Very maybe, because before they were different. Then Imhotep, according to some unknown reasons, he offered to build another monument, which is here very maybe and even yes. So the answer here, an idea for changing the design of burial structures. I'll write that down here next to 15. And of course, I may have another maybe answers, that's why I continue reading. An incredible experience despite the few remains. No. The answer to some unexpected questions is also no. So what you can see here, guys, we have only one maybe answer. We don't have two maybe answers, which means that 15 is already, in my opinion, according to me, is correct. You understand that? And of course, you don't just stop here. You follow the next type of the question, which is gap filling, and let's see what it says. The complex that includes the step pyramid and its surroundings is considered to be as big as Egyptian. Nothing about surroundings yet, so it is not. You cannot find the answer 21 to 24 here. And let's look at the last. Which of the following points does the writer make about King Joshua? Now, let's read A. Initially, he had to be persuaded to build in stone rather than in clay. In stone rather than in clay. Maybe you have something about that. You have to read that in the paragraph B. Let's look at B. There is disagreement concerning the length of his reign. Congratulations. Of course, there wasn't certainty. It means there is disagreement concerning the length of his reign. Some scholars think that he reigned for 19 years, if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, right. 19 years, but others disagree because he has done a lot of things. Well, that's it. So you found one answer, which is B, from 25 to 26. So you have one answer from here, 15 is 7. You have another answer. So already you have found two certain answers. So here I write that 25 and 26, 25, 26, 25 is most probably B. And order doesn't make any sense here. So we can write B in 26 or in 25. It doesn't matter. So you understand, guys, what you do. And now I'd like to give you some time for yourself to read the paragraph C that will appear here and try to find the correct heading. So here will appear now paragraph C. Pause the video, read it until the end. And now you have headings here. So you do the same. You ask yourself yes, no, or maybe. Here you see the headings. So try to find the correct answer. Well, as you may have found, the answer here is going to be the second one, which is a difficult task for those involved. So, why second? Because the meaning of the whole paragraph is only appropriate for this one. It was difficult, they were heavy, big stones, so on and so forth. About others, concerning other type of questions, I think there is no answer for anything starting from 21 to 26. That's why what we do, we just continue with reading D. And I will read that by myself. So let's do it together. When finally completed, the step pyramid rose 62 meters high and was the tallest structure of its time. The complex in which it was built was the size of a city in ancient Egypt and included a temple, courtyard, shrines, and living quarters for the priests, so living for the priests. It covered a region of 16 hectares and was surrounded by a wall 10.5 meters high. The wall had 13 false doors, cut into it with only one true entrance, cut into the southeast corner. The entire wall was then ringed by a trench 750 meters long and 40 meters wide. The false doors and the trench were incorporated into the complex to discourage unwanted visitors. If someone wished to enter, he or she would have needed to know in advance how to find the location of the true opening in the wall. Djoser was so proud of his accomplishment that he broke the tradition of having only his name on the monument and had Imhotep's name carved on it as well. So very nice, very informative. Let's start from headings. Again, you will see the headings on your screen right now, guys. So first, the areas and artifacts within the pyramid itself. Did you read about within the pyramid? No, we read about surroundings more. A difficult task was taken, a king who saved, nothing about saving, a single certainty, no, an overview of the external buildings and areas. What it means, external. External is something that is outside. So we didn't read about within the pyramid itself, we read about outside areas. So from here, it can be understood that the answer is 100% 5. Continue, we'll still read the remaining in order to make sure that this is 5. So, a pyramid design, no. Idea for changing the design, no. Incredible experience, nothing about few remains. Answers, we didn't have any answers. And also, don't forget about analyzing the other questions. The complex that includes the step pyramid, it is the question, the step pyramid of Djoser. The complex that includes the step pyramid and its surrounding is considered to be as big as an Egyptian, something of the past. I think we read about that. So one more time, first sentence. When finally completed, the step pyramid rose 62 meters high and was the tallest structure of its time. The complex in which it was built was a size of, here is the size of. So, the complex in which it was built was the size of a city in ancient Egypt. Considered to be as big as an Egyptian, one word only, of course, city. So 21 is city here. Let's write 21 somewhere here. City. 22. The area outside the pyramid included accommodation that was occupied by, along with many other buildings and features. Well, of course, you know that in reading they paraphrase, they always paraphrase. Accommodation, I read about that in the form of other word. And that was, let me find it, living quarters. Exactly. So living quarters is accommodation, living quarters for the priests. So the answer is priests. Even if you don't know the meaning of the priest, I know that nobody, not nobody, but a lot of people may not know what is priest, but you can write, you can understand that the answer is priest here. So 22nd. We continue reading. A wall, it is a question. A wall ran around the outside of the complex and a number of false entrances were built into this. Yes, we read about that. In addition, a long something encircled the wall. So next to a wall there was something. Let's find out. It covered a region of 16 hectares and was surrounded by a wall. The wall had 13 false doors cut into it with only one true entrance. Cut into the southeast corner, the entire wall was then ringed. So the word ring, you know what is ring? Like people have in their fingers. Ringed is encircled. Synonym again, ringed with what? Ringed by a trench. So the answer most probably is going to be the word trench. A long trench encircled the wall. So 23 is trench. So congratulations. We found 1, 2, 3, 4 answers from 1, only D. But we don't stop here. We read until the end. As a result, any visitors who had not been invited were cleverly prevented from entering the pyramid ground. unless they knew of the real entrance. So they should know what? Maybe place of the real entrance? Let's see, let's find out. If someone, a text here, paragraph D, if someone wished to enter, he or she would have needed to know in advance, here is the answer, how to find the location of the true opening in the wall. So the answer is visibly very simple here, and it is unless they knew the location. So 24 is location. 25 to 26. B is taken. He failed to appreciate Imhotep's part. No. A few of his possessions were still. No. He criticized. Nothing about criticizing the design here. Well, we've done A, B, C, and D. Now let's analyze what we have. So we have all the correct answers here. We have one missing, 26. We haven't read about that. We have another missing, 18 and 19. And don't forget that for 14 we have two answers. If 18 or 19 are not one of them, then you go back to 14, read that again. Then what you do, you just choose between 4 and between 6. You just pick the most logical answer. So, and here on the screen now, you will see the remaining of the text, guys. And I want you to do that by yourself and check your answers from the internet. Well, what we discussed today, guys, it was the strategy of headings. And as you see, headings is impossible to do, as some people say. You read one in the beginning of the paragraph, you read one in the middle, and you read one at the end. No, guys, never do that. Read the paragraph from the beginning until the end always. In doing so, you will be sure in your answer, first of all. Secondly, you may find another answer, as we did here. We found this B, we found 21 to 24, just because we read the whole paragraph. Yes, I know it will take you a lot of time, but your mission is to be able to find the answers now. It may take 1 hour or 2 hours for now, but make sure that you can find the answers. After you found the answers, what you do, you practice, 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 learn vocabulary and practice again. By doing so, you will just make your time not 1 hour, but you'll shrink it to 45 minutes, then 40 minutes, and 20 minutes, and eventually you'll be able to do any reading, one passage, within 15 minutes. The same as I did. When I entered my IELTS last time, I finished it within 45 to 50 minutes, and I didn't even check my answers because I was quite sure about them. So I had 2 mistakes, I guess. That's why it's not 9 but 8.5. But the reason is just practice, guys. So you practice a lot, you learn a lot of vocabulary, and you know the basic structures, the structure of reading from the beginning until the end, one paragraph, and analyzing all the questions. So in the link here in the description, you will have a file. Try to do that reading also, guys. Try to check yourself. And then what you do, you just look for the answers, for the keys in Google. You just write the name of the reading. It will give you millions of websites where you can find the answers. You understand me? Nice. So guys, thank you very much. And next time, I hope, and it is going to be the last video, the third one, we are going to talk about something very difficult, passage number 3, and I'll explain everything. So guys, more practice, more learning. See you, bye bye.